What up, what up, what up? Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. And we are back, guys. Back recording. Back on the YouTube streams video. What is going on? Sorry we missed you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, you can check this video out on YouTube for this episode now. Man, we still have kerfuffles over here.
Wow.
Wow, what?
Rude.
Wow, what? Kerfuffles? Oh, and we got sneezers. Sneezers and kerfuffles in the building.
That was bad timing.
Dog, control your dog. You got the dog freaking screaming over here.
Okay, because she wants you.
No, I didn't. You picked up the dog to hold her, not for her to come over here and let me hold her.
Look at, she looks offended.
Oh, man.
Anyways, he been slack-a-lacking on the Instagram game, guys.
No, here's the thing.
But if you saw that cute post on Sunday, that was me.
Here's the thing.
So if you like quality content like that, let a girl know, and I could bring you more quality content.
Here's the thing. We were busy like the first week of January because of the honeymoon, and then you got sick, so we were slacked there, and like now here we go. Yeah, I've been slacking on posting on Instagram, but I'm hoping if this video goes well, wink wink, nudge nudge, this will go up on YouTube and on Instagram.
Okay, sir.
Man, what is going on, everyone? I'm Shadell, co-host of PagingTheSimpsons. I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Lauren, and our dog, Missy.
also known as Kerfuffles and Sneezy.
Missy, are you kerfuffles or sneezy?
No, you're both of them. Missy's just Missy. She's
how
just
about,
like
how about I'll be sneezy? Kerfuffles sounds more like you. Yeah. Okay.
talk. You can hear the licks on the mic. Ew.
Okay.
That's disgusting.
Cool. She's saying hi.
That's disgusting. Don't
See?
don't do it.
The video will do well because she's here. Everything does well with the dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guys, don't fall for that's a trick. Women are like, we should get a dog. We should totally go to the pet store.
Dog.
Go to the what do you call it? I'm drawing a blank. The shelter, dog shelter, and get a dog. It's like we have our own little baby.
She's looking real insulted right now.
Yo, fellas,
don't listen to him.
Don't fall for that trap.
Don't listen to him. He's being rude.
Here's the thing. She's gonna say, "Let's get a dog. Let's. Oh my god, it's gonna be so great."
Look at this
dog. Here's the issue.
Look at the face.
she just staring. She's just like, damn.
She's like, wow.
See, here's the issue when you get a dog. Your partner that you're with, she doesn't tell you that if this dog has diarrhea for days, you will be the one to take her out.
No,
in
sir.
The cold.
Okay. No, sir. We are not doing that. Okay. Here's the reality. We got back from the honeymoon. Yes, she had diarrhea for like 3 days and nights.
3 days. 3 days? You just gonna minimize it? It was
we got back.
It was a long stretch of time for me.
Anyways, like I said, we got back. But remember, I was dying with like the worst sickness I've had in a long time. So, and every time the dog was up at night, I was up at night. Okay, like we had our own. Me and her were in sync. It was bad. But like, listen.
Does that make you feel better?
Yes, because you're over here making it sound like I don't help and stuff. But the asterisk here is, both her and I were sick, which means, by default, the person who's well gets to take care of the dog.
So I'm putting this on record. Next time this dog has diarrhea and I have to wake up multiple times throughout the night.
Don't do that. Remember the other times she's had diarrhea? We have taken turns.
Okay, well, you do on the first one. The first trip out. Okay? So get ready with your little eagle eyes when you're going outside, hoping that a skunk doesn't run up on you and go.
What?
Oh no!
Look at she's leaving the room. Offended. She left the room, and right when he said that, she looked back over her shoulder like, "Excuse me," and then she just ran off.
Oh man! Don't fall for that trick. Don't fall for the trick of the girl being like, "We should get a dog. It's gonna be great." They don't tell you that you're going to be taking care of the dog majority and they're going to be playing with the dog.
No. This is bull. This is bull. Because, like I said, if we were both sick, you're the only ones who's well. Plus, might I remind you the whole in sickness and health part of your vows, sir.
I don't remember that.
Sir, so
it would be mighty helpful to have this video to remember.
Okay, just wait. Just wait.
Oh man! All right. So guys, we got a lot of stuff to get into, and I want to talk about this whole Robert Downey Jr. situation. So he went on Joe Rogan's podcast this past week. And it was interesting, and I kind of chimed in because I look at Joe Rogan's like clips to like see what happens. I don't feel like watching a huge long video for someone I don't really care about too much. And you said before we started recording that you didn't watch Tropic Thunder, and I remember Tropic Thunder vaguely. Like it was a long time ago. I probably didn't put much stock into it. But essentially, he played a black guy in the movie.
okay.
Like so before the whole outrage of the world. Because in this day and age, I don't think you could do that. And he wasn't doing it to like, he wasn't. What are you looking up that?
Continue.
Yeah, I'm going to show you a clip.
Yeah, it's 2008.
Yeah, he didn't do it to like.
I was checking on the year.
He didn't do it to like necessarily offend black people.
Well, I don't think.
But I also don't feel like
does.
I feel like they should have just got an actual black guy.
Well. Yeah, so like my thoughts there is that it's kind of like the idea of, okay, if you have like a transgender person, but you don't actually get a transgender person to play,
or like someone that's
role.
like disabled, and you get someone that's not really like in a wheelchair or something.
It's kind of like you and I, we were talking about This Is Us and how they use actual blind people for like the baby and the adult Jack and spoiler alert if you're not caught up on This Is Us, but Kate and what's his name, Toby's baby. And so like they use actual blind people for those roles to portray a blind person, and it's like that's huge because you have to think about it too. These people could be limited in the roles that they could do to begin with, but to be able to represent themselves is kind of a big deal. Like that's important.
Yeah.
And so I think when it comes to race, it's equally as important that obviously everyone should be able to represent authentic roles. And then not for nothing, it makes the movie or the show better too because it is more authentic. I think it's a little less acting,
Yeah,
so
with it.
And I think the fact that it would be nice to employ people who are more diverse. I mean, that's important as well. But yeah, so it's kind of crazy to think that even 12 years ago, things were very different. Because I know that the whole blackface thing has come up a lot in the news, probably the past couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not sure if they saw it as worrisome back then or not. I don't remember.
No, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But so many things have changed where you had in the last 10 years you've had Rachel Dolezal with the whole blackface. You found out she was faking it in the NAACP.
Yeah.
There was something with, what was it, Kellyanne on like her show where she said like she did blackface in the past.
A bunch of people like
the Virginia mayor, I believe, like this. And it's like when you look at these people's photos, they weren't doing it to say like, oh, I'm gonna be, I don't know, an older person back in that time, but let's say they're not doing it to be like 50 Cent or T.I. or Lil' Kim or Nicki. Like they're not doing it to be like these like prominent people. They're doing it as the stereotypical. The stereotypes of a black person. Yeah. So they're doing it with like, have you ever seen the old style cartoons where they have like black face, red lips, like those disgusting like images? Like, that's kind of what it was in the past. And then sometimes people will chime in with the white chicks, and they're like, oh, like, well,
yeah, that's always the comeback.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Maybe I go back and forth because I can see how people are like, well, how is that acceptable then? Because it's the same thing in reverse. But at the same time, I mean, it was done like once. versus like all this other stuff was done. It has been done so many times, and I feel like has been done with malicious intent versus the whole white chicks thing was just a stupid comedy.
Pretty much.
And like, yeah, you could say it's making fun of white girls, but
if you could sit there and watch it as a white girl and laugh along with it, it's like, is it really?
It's different. It's different. And
there's no history behind it is the next thing. There's no history of like black men dressing up as white women and doing that. Like there's no like trauma behind it. So that's why it's like you could say that, but you can't really make a huge case when there's actual like killings and so many other things when it comes to blackface.
And it's kind of, I feel like White Chicks also was kind of showing you the privilege that white people have.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing is it wasn't...
Yeah, because they were rich white girls.
Right. Like, so it wasn't... And I mean, sure, not all white people are rich, but it wasn't... Again, I feel like it wasn't malicious and it wasn't to show... I don't know. To personify such a bad part of that culture.
Yeah.
I don't know. So... But... And that's the thing is everybody... when it comes to blackface... Everybody always has something to say about white chicks, and that's the only comeback.
Yep.
And I'm like, much. It's kind of, I don't know, it's getting old. Whereas, yeah, I don't know. So, I think, I haven't seen the movie.
No, but that's what we're going to get into next. I'm going to show you a clip.
Okay. Because, like, what is the movie about?
I'm going to show you a clip.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to play a clip for you. If you guys can't hear it. Oh, gosh. Missy, what the heck?
Uh-oh.
All right, she needs to go somewhere else if she's going to, like, be in here. Like, go. Dog, she's going to get stuck in the wires. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Guys, hold on. This is bad, 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 bad. You just did that just to put her on that side? What?
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna get into this clip here. Is the dog neutral? Are we good now? We Gucci? Okay. So here's a quick clip. You guys may not be able to hear it, but it's really just to show with this minute 30 clip to Lauren. So this gives you an idea of like what he played. So that's Robert Downey Jr.
Really?
Yes.
But is that another black man?
Yes.
Right there? Like, so I don't... Okay.
Let's go get those Viet Congs. Viet Cong! What? It's Viet Cong. There's no S. It's already plural. You wouldn't say Chinese.
Yeah.
What? So, first of all, my first thought is... I don't know if people like this or not, but the hair and makeup department did really good. Like, I know that's terrible, but like wow, like I didn't know that was him. Like it was like so.
I mean, you could
yes,
tell.
when you look, but like
if you weren't told it was him,
right?
Yeah, sure.
You're like wow, and like I don't know the way he was able to like change the like he kind of did take on a completely different person. So like that's cool, but yeah, I don't know. So that the reason I asked him like, well, isn't that another black person there? It just kind of goes to show like, I don't know. Is this based on something?
No, it's just it's like a comedy movie in the sense. Like,
I'm not sure then.
But
because if they really wanted him to be in the movie, I don't know why he couldn't just be a white person.
Don't know. So this is in the Joe Rogan interview. he was pretty much like, Ben knew exactly what the vision was for this, and he executed it. It was impossible to not have it be an offensive nightmare of a movie. And he says like 90% of his black friends were like, dude, that was great, and I can't disagree with the other 10%. But I know where their heart lies. And it's like, like, I don't even know who Robert Downey Jr.'s black friends are. I don't think I want to know because they're probably rich people to me. But, like, I don't really want to know your opinion.
I don't know. Because, like, I don't know. Because it doesn't seem that he did it in such an offensive way. It's not like it's not like he was playing, like, a slave. You know what I mean? And, like...
Yo, dog, that would be bad.
Right. So, I feel like there's degrees. Like, I feel like he didn't do it in a way that is super offensive, but I know I'm me, so I can't speak too much on the topic. So, like, but at the same time, like I said, if they really wanted Robert Downey Jr., like, if that's the reason he was in that movie, I don't understand why they couldn't get another prominent black actor for that role.
Yeah.
And then have Robert Downey Jr. be someone else, or like, or I don't know if that role even had to be a black person. Like, I don't know how that worked, like, because I haven't seen the movie, but there's just, I feel like different ways this could have gone.
I don't know. I just feel like they at the time it was acceptable, and that's why Ben Stiller was like, "Hey, you got to do this movie. You got to be in it." And you know, if Robert Downey Jr. he explains in the movie, he's like, you know, his grandma, I believe either his mom or his grandma was like, "Oh, you shouldn't do it. She has a bad feeling," and he's like, "I have a bad feeling about this too." But like, it was a tough call. He tried rationalizing it in his mind, and it's tough because it's like it's similar to like White Chicks, where it's like he didn't go extreme. It wasn't to like necessarily bash white women or bash, you know, in his case, bash black men or black people, but it's still it kind of the whole interview with Joe Rogan, it kind of rehashed this into like the new how would you say, like the new like world we're in, I guess.
Well, right, and I think, but that's also the tricky part, is it is a 2008 movie, and I think it's hard when people try to bring up old movies and make them acceptable in a now time, because wasn't this a thing with like, isn't there like Disney cartoons from like the 30s and stuff? Like there's stuff that has questionable things, or things where people had to take out scenes and like all this stuff to adapt to today's times. But it's one of those where, and I'm not saying it's right what they're portraying, but at the same time you have to look at when they were made and what life was. It's not like they were made today and they're intentionally being offensive. So like it's kind of like the whole tweet thing, like when people drag up tweets from 10 years ago, and you and I have talked about how much someone could change in 10 years.
Yeah, it's just it's at the time that's what the nature was, and like that's why I'm like, I'm not heavy on it because I get it. It's similar to like when I listen to like old rap songs, and like, oh man, some of them were just cringy, and it's like sometimes, even though I love rap, I have to like skip it, especially if I'm around you and I know it's gonna get to like some really like aggressive place. I'm like, oh, hold on, let me just skip this, because to me it doesn't sound right in this time, because like of course you grow, and like I'm sure the artist would be like, in this day and age I probably wouldn't perform that song, but you can't, there's nothing you can do about the past now. It is what it is. It's just like not doing it going forward type of thing. I don't know. I just had to share my thoughts on that and talk about it.
Why was it even brought up, though, is my question.
Because she was on a Joe Rogan podcast. So, again, you're going to talk about
just as
your
a guest
past.
in general.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, man.
So, next thing I want to talk about here, because we were talking about this briefly, and then I came across an article that is on Vox that's that's titled, "Why Millennials Are the Death Positive Generation." And I found this to be interesting because we were talking about like families and like, you know, wills, and like how just in general with like people we know and just friends and family that I've talked to, where they have to like go to court with their siblings to like figure out how they're you know, now deceased parent didn't have like a will or whatever, and how they have to
Right.
like divide everything up. And I found this article to be interesting because here we are, like we don't have kids yet, and we're like, okay, how do we plan on doing this? Because like it's just taking that burden off whoever's left. Like I don't want to be killed in a car accident and then like, oh no, like who gets what and who's fighting over what. It's kind of just making it clear and cut of like, this is what I want during my living hour. Like, hey.
Right. And the thing is, like, I totally anticipate that this year you and I will do wills. And it's kind of like one of those things that, yeah, you kind of wait until you're married and established, and then you kind of take that step. And it seems kind of weird because, oh, you're in your mid-20s and, like, you're not thinking about all that. But ultimately, no one ever knows how they're going to go, when they're going to go. And, like, for you and me, for example, as the default, if one of us were to die right now, is the spouse would get everything just because we're married.
Oh, yeah.
But if we make a will, I mean, you have siblings, I have family, whatever. What we could do right now is, like, say, I want, whether it's this money or this possession or whatever to go to the spouse, this to go to the sister, this to go to the brother. Like, you kind of can divvy it up how you see fit. And then the cool thing with wills is they're not set in stone. Like, you can change them as your life evolves, is the thing. And so, like, I feel like people get really scared to do wills because they think all of a sudden they're gonna die if they do one.
That's how I feel, but I just know that it's a smart thing to do.
Well, right. It's like how we got life insurance a couple years ago, and like it's just you just got to be smart with
with planning and making sure you're prepared for that time. God forbid.
Right, and it's like, yeah, I know we were talking about this. And
and I feel like our families, like in the, I don't know what it is, but I'm sure like our families, our parents, pretty much everyone's parent that's listening here, I would like to say, most of us, our parents probably don't have like a will or something set up to be like, hey, you're getting this, you're getting that, and it's like, damn, like how prepared are you?
Yep.
I believe for like my grandfather that passed away like 6 years ago. I don't think he had. Did he? I believe he didn't have anything set up, and like that was like a whole thing of like figuring out how everything gets managed. And it's like it's a scary thing. I'm here to say I agree, but it's something that like just has to get done, and I'm glad that even though we're the young people, everyone, the older people like to deem us as lazy and all that stuff, we're still taking the initiative to be like, I don't want, when I'm older, I don't want my kids or whoever to be like left with the I don't knows of how I would have handled the situation. And that's kind of what's happening as our parents and older people that are above us how they're passing away. We're handling all the issues.
Well, and it just gets super complicated because then if you have siblings and somehow this has to get divided, and then everybody's relationships are different within their family. So if you have crappy relationships and then you have to go to court, and then there's this whole thing, and I'm not looking forward to that. Like,
it's a pain.
I'm like, it's not. Yeah, you gotta spend a little to make a will. It's with a lawyer. Blah blah blah. Like, yes, like anything else, it costs something, and it takes time, and you have to obviously like put thought into it. But like, I just think it's important enough to do that, because don't you want kind of some say of like where your assets go? Like, don't you kind of also, like, as you get older and you have older kids and stuff, don't you want, one, to kind of help them out in most cases, or two, just kind of make it, like, be rest assured that once you're gone, things are set. Like, no one's going to be arguing. Well, I mean, that might happen because sometimes people get more money or whatever. But, no one's going to be, like, having issues about how to split things and how to handle things.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I think it's just one of those kind of basics of life that you wait to do until you're kind of a young adult and married or established in some way or all that. But like once you are, it's kind of you just do it.
And I'm just gonna plug this here. Of course, not a sponsor or anything, but as I'm looking through this Vox article, they plug a website called Free Will, and essentially, it's a site that takes only 20 minutes to fill out the information to create your will, and you can always keep it updated and all that stuff. And then you pretty much pair your free will after you sign it and all that stuff. If you have like a larger estate with kids and with special needs or complicated family dynamics, you tie it with an attorney. But essentially, it's a free website to like you create your will, fill out the form, and then sign it, and then keep it somewhere safe. And then that's what it's just an easier way of like managing your assets and what you have, and just making things easier. Of course, if it gets difficult and you have a lot more wealth that you're leaving behind for friends and family members or whatever, you just give it to an attorney you always keep record of.
I think people are really intimidated to work with attorneys sometimes.
I mean, well, again, just use freewill.com. Seems like it's legit. It's like, I would check it out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in general, it's not scary to work with an attorney. You know, like, yeah, it costs something and whatever. But like, I feel like if you get the right attorney, whatever it's for, you know, because like we've used a personal injury attorney before for like car accidents. Like I've used a small business attorney for my contracts. Like these people know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're assets.
Yeah, I mean it's all whatever makes you feel easy, and like these websites like Free Will, and I'm sure there's others that like try to make it easy by them guiding you through like information that you need in your will, and just being like, hey, this is yours, sign it to make it official, all that stuff. It's just it makes it easier. So yeah, if you're intimidated by going to an attorney, which I get, I'm sure people are. Like I'm not gonna knock anyone for it. At least that's you at least have something. Like you don't have to necessarily meet with an attorney, but if your dynamic is crazy, you may want to, or just I would assume be super detailed in your will if your family dynamic and just your conditions are very like detailed, I guess. Yeah, it's just preparing. Like in this article, they're saying how someone's been like essentially planning their death since 2015, and not like saying that they're gonna die soon, but like saying like just to have everything like in order. Well,
yeah, I mean, there's people like our age who choose their caskets and stuff.
I've seen that, and I feel like I've seen this on Vice or even on Vox on YouTube, where like this guy goes through and like goes through different, or was it no? I think it was on the YouTube show with the Vsauce, and he goes through different ways that you can like.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah,
and that was interesting because they go through a lot of options, even one where it's like it costs a lot of money that a lot of us don't have, but you can like freeze yourself and be reincarnated or whatever, hopefully in a later time.
And then there's one where you could be a tree.
Yeah,
like you can go back into the earth, like because some people don't want to just rot or be in a box or anything like that. Like it's very interesting, but yeah, those are those things. It's just like you and I like would technically have to set up like if we want a DNR or stuff like that, like if we're in the hospital and like when to pull the plug and all this fun stuff that isn't fun, but I mean it's necessary
because stuff that doesn't happen. I like to say knock on wood or fake wood or whatever this is. But it's like it's just a good to have.
Because like think about that too. For example, if you don't set up ahead of time and you're very clear with your spouse about when to pull the plug, if that is a thing, that is an awful thing to put on your spouse to have to decide in that moment. Like, because if you're not aware, like, okay, do they want to be hooked up for like, I don't know, 20 days, or like, do they want, like, how long do they want to try until there is no trying? And it's like, that is an awful thing to put on the spouse in that moment, to be like, it's completely up to you what you want to do.
And then there comes other things where it's like, okay, the financial aspect of like, damn, like if you're gonna be in there for 20 more days, that's however thousands of dollars more we have to sit there and pay. So I don't know. But I just want to talk about it. Just want to get that out to anyone that's interested.
I mean, it's gonna be heavy when we have to do it, but
we'll probably give an update to see how
I think
that
it's
went. But it's just stuff that's needed. Yeah, that would be interesting talking about our experience with that. Like as we go through things, like over the next few years, as we like go back into buying like a new place, the will, of course, and just various like life things that like I feel like everyone should do. Yeah, that'll be one we'll be covering for sure.
I'm curious. For example, like with the DNR thing, if your heart stops, do you want them to try like reviving you, like with the paddles?
I would go based on whatever the doctor says. If the doctor's like, oh, it's a 50-50 chance, sure, try it. If nothing works, then kill me.
Yeah, see, I don't know if that's how it works. We might have to be more specific.
I mean, yeah.
I think because I think how it is is like some people are like, you can take all measures to make sure I come back to life. Some people are like, as soon as my heart stops, don't touch me. Like, so, like there's kind of different levels, and then like I don't know, because like
I mean,
I would want them to try. Well, like the paddles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would say give it a try. Because I would assume the doctor would give their opinion to be like, yo, there's like a 50-50 chance. We can try it, but we just want to make sure you're okay with it. If they say it's 50-50, sure.
You're passed out.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Okay. Okay, babe. Okay, what I'm saying.
I
don't know. Something happens to you that's really bad. They're doing CPR, but your actual heart stops.
Okay.
Then what they can do next is the paddles to like try and revive you. There is no like, so there's a 50-50. Like, no, it's like either they do or they do not.
Yeah, try it. I mean, it depends. I have requirements. Like, if if this happens and I'm like in my mid-30s, yeah, do it. If this happens and I'm like 60, 70, 80, no, let me die. Like,
well, yeah, I think, and that's where I think you'd have to like change
the center age requirements. So I'm just like, dog, if I'm still young, yeah, try it. Just don't overextend yourself. Sure.
Yeah.
Like once it becomes a burden, I don't really care what happens to me because I don't really care like that. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, when I get old, I just don't care. I'm like, yeah, it's not fun to be old. Like, I don't want to sit in my house and just slug walk around grocery stores and hang out at parks, and, you know, hit into people by accident. You know,
you're old shaming.
My bad, but I'm just saying, like, mine's just an age requirement. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, if it's just like with anything. That's how I would treat like a friend or a family member or something. If they're like, if something was to happen to like my mom or dad or something at like 40, 50 years old, I'm not going to be like, yo, pull the plug if the option. I'm like, no, they still have, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40, however many years of lives to live. So I'm going to say, continue on. But once you get like real old, it's like a dog. How do you kind of handle a dog? Like if it's real old.
We were talking about this,
Let's just just my thoughts on it. So the next thing I want to jump into here is talking about this YouTube moderators being forced to sign statements acknowledging that their job can give them PTSD. I think you were around when I was watching those videos of The Verge, like interviewing Facebook and YouTube employees about like their experience when it came to like reviewing videos.
Yes.
Dog. Oh man, so this is interesting. So
it's not a job I would want.
Yeah. So essentially, I guess what's happening, there's like some type of like lawsuit or something happening. And like this company Accenture, which operates as a moderation site for YouTube in Austin, Texas, is distributing documents to workers on December 20th. For days after The Verge, they did like the whole investigation into PTSD among the workers in the facility. And like, man, they're trying to like essentially cover their butts with this. And I'm like, that's grimy. Now, to fill you guys in on this, so if you go to like The Verge on their YouTube channel, They have two videos. One where they talk to Facebook employees about how it is to, like, you know, take down content that's bad. I'm sure we've all stumbled across, like, I've seen it before, like videos on Facebook where, like, there's like killings or like a crazy accident or just something that's very gory and stuff. And like these moderators will go on Facebook and whatever people flag, they review. So you're spending, you know, 8-hour days. I'm not maybe more if they do overtime, which I'm sure they probably do, or however much, of just watching constant videos and images of stuff that people upload to
Like,
Facebook.
The most awful stuff. I thought it was YouTube.
Well, I'm talking about both because it's two different
Like
things.
the most awful stuff you could think of, like child pornography and you know, killing people and just all this different stuff.
And I'm gonna try not to get too graphic with it, but if you watch the video, they'll explain how, like, even how someone saw, either it was in the Facebook or YouTube part of the video, where like someone saw like kids doing something to like a lizard. I'm not gonna go any further with that. And like it was just graphic how they were just explaining it.
Yeah.
And like I've seen these videos.
And it's yeah, you got to think about it because it's too everything's real is the problem. It's not a movie, you know? So like these people are watching real authentic bad things happen hour after hour just on loop and like
and that like does something to you.
Yeah.
Because you're like, how can someone do that to an animal, or how can someone do that to the person? Like, I've seen some gory things, like, you know how you go on Facebook or Twitter, you know, and they like have the like uncover button or whatever, and they give you like a warning.
Yeah.
And I'm like wondering, like, should I click this? Should I not? And I'm
yeah.
like, I don't know. And of course, you get interested, and you click on it, and you're like, this is disgusting, not for me. You try to, so
Right. So think about the stuff that isn't on there.
that's true.
Like
Yeah.
if you know, like the stuff that doesn't make it to these sites.
But like
Those are
imagine that.
humans going through that.
Imagine that you're watching like one piece of content, you're probably on it for like a few minutes or whatever, looking at like, wow, this is crazy, I can't believe I saw this. Imagine this is your job for 8 hours a day, looking at various pieces of very, very graphic content.
Remember how I said I'd never want to work at the airport?
Yeah.
I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
I'd rather.
Oh, you rather work at the airport?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like this is one of those things.
It messes you up mentally.
You can't. Yeah, this is. It's. I mean, it's terrible to say, but you're not strong enough. Like you're still a human. You still have real feelings and opinions and things, and we're not meant to see and experience these most horrific things day in and day out. We're not meant to like live in a state of like this awfulness, this fear, this gut-wrenching like material.
And like these people have to go to like therapy, like, you know, after they quit the job, they explain in the videos how they had to go to therapy for months. And like,
it is not. I'm sorry, that's not worth any dollar amount to me. My mental stability like that, no, honey. Like even like 6 figures, whatever. I don't want it. I'm not doing that. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you'll have money, but you'll have an absolutely miserable life, and you could be terrified to go out. You could be just massively depressed and not do anything with your life. Like there's so many ways this could go. No, it's not worth it. They need a better system.
And it's like I'm not sure if they get paid well or what the case is as far as payment, but like, man, you'd have to pay me like a real good amount.
No.
And I would have to have good like PTO. Like I want like really good benefits for me to like.
I don't think you would want to do this. I really don't. Seeing how you are with like an average job and like wanting time off and needing time for yourself and like to all that, I feel like with a job like this, it would break you.
That would make you closed off.
It would break you.
You would see graphic content day in, day out, and you're just like, I don't want to deal with people. Like how does someone?
And you can't even talk about it. It's not like you can come home and like tell your spouse all about it.
They don't want to hear
right.
that.
There's like no, it breaks you as a person.
Oh man. So
they need a better method.
I mean, you can't really have a better method because it has to, like, there's no way for a computer to pick up to be like, this is bad. Every time you see blood in a video, this is bad. Like,
well, time to invent a computer.
Like,
because that's not worth it.
And like they say how like this company that's like the I'm killing the word. Like the place that they
Moderators.
go. Yeah, the moderating site.
Yeah.
They said that they care about the well-being of their people. It's their top priority. But it wasn't. They didn't care about this until it started becoming a big thing when Verge reported on it.
Right.
Like, let's be real.
Are you sure that money and fame and stuff are not your top priorities? Really? If it's your top priority, you do it. That's what I want to say. These people, these higher ups in like this company and people doing this stuff, you do it. Do it for a week or two. Yeah.
Interesting.
What?
So this looks like this was this is from an employee rights attorney based in California saying that I'm acknowledging that if I disclose my mental health to you, you may be able to fire me. That isn't allowed. So it sounds like I'm trying to like run through this because it sounds like what they're saying is if we agreed to like say like, man, I have like depression or PTSD from this, that you may have the right to fire me, and like that shouldn't happen, especially in a job where it's
not
like
legal.
Well, that's what this employee rights attorney is saying.
Especially if you're the job that caused it. Rude. No.
Huh. Interesting.
What?
And this attorney goes on to say, like, I would think it's illegal to force an employee to disclose any sort of disability to you. So
it's not.
Interesting. So that's what they're doing to like. So they're giving these employees a form to say if they have PTSD or not, and is that how they're like trying to weed out if people like if they want to fire them or not?
I don't know, but it's not.
That's what
this isn't okay. Like. It's because it's the whole that you like even the hiring process. It's not based on disability or color or anything. Like it's supposed to be non-discriminatory.
So this answers the question about pay. So they're working for $18.50 an hour, or about $37 a year.
Are you kidding me?
Employees said they struggled to afford rent and were dealing with severe mental health struggles. The moment they quit or the company, fire them, they lose all their mental health services. Man.
So on that, you can't even afford the amount of therapy or medication you need to stick with the job that's giving that problem to you. Think about that. That's ridiculous. Do you know how many other jobs you could do for that amount of money? It's not worth it at all.
Gosh. Wow. This person is quoted saying if they knew from the beginning how this job would impact their mental health, they would have never taken it. That is crazy. Crazy.
Can you imagine the nightmares? The insomnia?
Oh, that's wild. Yeah.
People can't sleep probably. Like
Yeah.
All of that's just not worth it.
Wow.
$37,000 a year, that's it? Seriously, you could have so many other jobs for that.
What's the promotion like? Oh, you get into even worse content. Like, how do you like elevate in that? All right, on to something that's like a little less graphic here. All right. So, dog, I'm ready for the future of self-driving. Are you ready?
Sure.
So, Cruise is they're showing their self-driving electric shuttle that's made for ride sharing, and I like it a lot. I hope this article Yep. So check this out. This is what's probably gonna come within like I would assume the next 5 to 10 years. Like I can't wait for this. So you call this, it comes to your door, and this is what it has. Like, does that not look cool to you? And like you have TV
it only
screens
shows
there.
one side?
It's the same on both sides, dog.
Oh, that's it?
Yes, that's it. But like that's essentially the future we're looking at.
That's so weird.
Like imagine seeing these like little like buses like around. And now I wouldn't want to call it like Uber Pool with anyone. I'm gonna tell you that. Like it would just be like with friends. But like imagine that. Like you call like That's a feature we're headed to. We call this like vehicle up, it pulls up, and you all hop in and go to wherever you need to go. Imagine like when you're going to when you have to go to the airport. Imagine trips like that, where you're just like, I'm just gonna call a shuttle thing up. It drives you to the airport and you're out. Like, that looks really cool. And there's another company that's doing the same thing. I forgot the name of it.
Need to be more comfortable.
Yeah, but they probably made it simple. You gotta remember, if this is gonna be something, they have to figure out a way how to make sure it's like simple and easy. Also, the cleaning aspect of it, like it.
I was gonna say, so like, what if drunks like puke in it?
I mean, I'm sure they would have to flag it, or the people that are using it have to flag it.
Yeah, but what if no one does, and then it goes to pick up someone else? You know what I'm saying? Like, because no one knows that.
I know, but the person that's driving it would have to flag it. If you hop into it, because no one did it before, flagged it, I'm sure people would.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's interesting.
What, you don't want to hop in one of these?
It's different.
Like, imagine you going out with the night.
I want
with your
comfier
friends.
seats.
Who cares? You're in it for 30 minutes at the very least. Like, you're not.
You mean at the most?
Yeah, the most. But like, it's
not if you're driving to the airport. You said, what if we take this from our house to JFK? That's a long drive.
I don't care. I don't need comfy seats. Just take me there. Like, I'll sit on the floor for all I care. Look at this. Look at this privilege shining through. I need comfy seats.
Oh, I'm the one with privilege.
Dog.
You're the one talking about a self-driving car.
Whoa. I'm just saying, I don't want to deal with people, but I would love to deal with the computer.
Privilege.
No, you're asking way more. But this is the future we're headed to, and I love it, because I hate so much some of you drivers out here that want to ride my butt for no good reason.
Or like that person that almost rammed us last night.
Exactly. Like, I can't wait.
Man, it was heavy rain. It was dark. We were in a city. And I almost got rammed on the driver's side because I was in like the right lane and they were in the left, and we're going the same direction. And they just chose to like swerve around a car because they were impatient. And here I am coming up. If I didn't swerve right away, they would have rammed into my side because they didn't signal, they didn't look. And yeah, it was great.
I'm going to tell you this now.
I was so mad.
I'm going to tell you this now. I'm super like happy that it didn't happen.
Me too.
Because it would have sucked.
You're telling me.
But my back of the mind thought is, like, let me just say this before we get into that part. I'm like, okay, would have sucked. We would have been out in this heavy ass rain, getting downpoured on, missing our little clay date. What else? We would have probably had to go back to physical therapy once again. A year later? 2 years later? I don't know. A year and a half later, something like that.
I'd be messed up because I've never been hit like that before. I've always been rear-ended. So, like, for them to just ram into the side of me.
Dealing with all that stuff. But, you know, my next part of why I would have been happy?
Why?
We would have gotten a Tesla. I hope.
What are you talking about?
I would hope that we would be able to afford a Tesla at the end of this. Doug, okay, don't kill me. I'm looking at the bright side of this.
The bright side is it didn't happen. That's the only brightest side there is.
But that's what I'm saying. I said that. See, I
He's
prefaced
over
it with
here
all that stuff. Okay.
wanting to risk his wife's life. She would be the one that gets rammed into for a Tesla.
Oh, but you like it.
Poor timing. Poor taste.
I mean, they had poor timing.
Dude.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
But, okay. I prefaced it with all the other good stuff, being like, I'm happy this didn't happen because we had to deal with this, and that, so thank God it didn't happen.
And because my lovely wife is safe.
But if it did.
And she's okay.
But if it did, we would have gotten the safest car in the world. Boom.
Yeah, boom's what we would have heard.
Yeah, I hate you. It was really bad rating, though. Oh my God, we got soaked. This girl over here could not breathe for a moment. I'm just like, if you die right on the sidewalk, I almost died, yeah. I would have been like, I don't know what to do.
How windy it was, I literally could not breathe.
I mean, the good thing is there were police all over the place because it's a city, so.
Well, yeah. I had to, like, pull to the side near, like, the building.
She had to make out with her jacket.
Yeah, I had to, like, make a vent
Like currently what she has to do now?
Yeah. I had to make a vent with my jacket.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is death. This is death. So in the past 2 weeks that you guys have heard us, Lauren has been dying, and everywhere we go, they've been like, do you need water? Is everything all right? Oh, this poor girl. This and that. I'm just sitting here like, no, this is Lauren.
It's very embarrassing.
This is her. This is her. This is her. This is her dying.
No, yeah, we went. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Do we got to take a break before we hop into this? Okay, guys, we will be right back.
So we went to dinner before we did the clay stuff. We did like pottery last night, and we never went to this place for dinner. We walk in and we're like looking at what to get and whatever, and I'm like dying, and I just hear someone shout. They're like, "Can someone get this girl some water?" And I was like, "Oh, this is awkward."
Oh, someone said that?
Yes. Did you not hear that? Yeah, someone like behind the counter said that, and that's why that lady came out and got me a glass of water, and I was like, oh, that's kind of embarrassing.
Oh, I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, I heard it. So that was a thing. And yeah, but no, like right before we got to the restaurant, we're walking and the wind is crazy. And I've had this before where sometimes it kind of takes my breath away if it's like blowing right in my face. But I think because of how my chest is right now, I literally could not breathe. And I had to like pull to the side of a building and make a vent with my jacket so that like the air wasn't like completely, in your face. And like I had to like breathe, and it was crazy. Crazy. So yeah, this is my life, but thanks for sticking around anyway. So anyways.
Well, to wrap this bad boy up, guys, we're gonna hop into a relationship advice topic of the episode.
Hip hop, hippity hop.
This is called "My Wife Always Needs Attention." God damn, I feel you, bro. Always need my goddamn attention. All right, so check it.
You need to take it down a notch, sir.
So check it, man. G, check it. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
He's over here swearing about it. Excuse me.
All right, I make breakfast for my wife and myself every morning, and also I give her green tea and then get ready to go to work.
What do you do?
I wake up every morning and get myself breakfast, and my wife lays in bed.
Right. What do you do for me?
Nothing.
Exactly. So shut up.
I go to work around 9:30 and come back home for an hour lunch around 1 o'clock. 95% of the time, I come home at 5 p.m. after work. My work demands me to stay a little longer sometimes, but my wife gets really mad if I don't make it home by 5, which is wild. I have explained to her numerous times that I will be busy a few days and can't make it home exactly at 5, and I even work from home some Fridays if possible so that I can spend time with her. My wife can't work in the USA, so pretty much she stays at home all day. Now that I get back from work, she expects me to spend all the time with her. We spend time together going to the gym or going on a walk in the evenings, while at home I do dishes and clean the kitchen and home, as well as help her during cooking every day. I love to have my me time, like playing video games or watching YouTube, reading, etc. But it is next to impossible. She is not serious about her career. Neither does she. This guy writes horribly. It's not me. Neither does she have any hobbies to keep her occupied. She even expects me to plan our weekends so that she doesn't get bored. The constant pressure of me keeping her entertained and not doing things I like is killing me.
My dude. This sounds exactly like a very toxic couple I know. And that's where I'll leave that. But I would like to say I am nothing like that, sir.
I didn't say it.
So
you insinuated that. So.
No, but you're over here. You did. You're over here like, all the goddamn time.
You insinuated it. I just kept on. I just let you believe it if that's how you feel.
But literally, no, that literally to a T sounds like an extremely toxic couple I know.
Mm-hmm.
And
so here's my issue. My number one question is, why can't she work in the U.S., but he says she doesn't care about her career? Like, I don't really understand that. Because you're contradicting yourself. Like, can she work here or can she not?
Well, it sounds like she's like an immigrant or something that isn't legal or something.
But again, then why do you say she doesn't care about her career? Because if she can't work in the U.S., she doesn't have a career.
I don't know. Maybe she's not furthering on getting legal. I don't know.
I feel like that you would say that. That's a big...
Well, I'm not sure then, but everything about that, yeah, the whole. Let me tell you, because yeah, it's like I watched this man just slowly die over a long period of time, because yeah, he just didn't have any time for himself and didn't have any hobbies and wasn't allowed to do this and wasn't allowed to do that and blah blah blah, and had to do all the chores even though this other person was home all day and he worked, and it just is a whole it's very bad. It's very bad. That is extreme. That's one of those extremes that it's not healthy at all. And it's
This pretty much, this person, his wife, essentially runs his life.
Yes, exactly.
Like, so the fact of like, I get it. Like making breakfast with your significant other and all that stuff for it cool. I get it every now and then. Yeah, but like this guy's like every morning.
No, like everything of his life is controlled by her.
Exactly.
That's a problem.
And it's like, if you don't understand that, like, I have to work a little later, like an hour or two, whatever. I'm like, what, dog?
Same thing. Same thing with this person.
I'm like, do you not know what? Do you not understand how this works?
Same.
Like, thing. I bring in the money. I have to stay in later. Like,
nope.
Yeah, I had to talk about it because I feel like it's common. It's more so common for women to put the man in this position. Granted, I know, I'm sure men can do this to women, be like, I want this, and that. But I feel like it's so much more common with women. I just had to, when I saw this, I had to touch on it. like so many things where this person does not have life. They don't have them.
It never ends well because the person who isn't allowed to have any kind of identity, they resent the other person because why wouldn't they? Like, it doesn't make sense because it's like the person who's demanding every waking second from this person and every single thing, chore, whatever, like, you need help, dog. It's not okay to completely control a person's life.
She stays at home, and I don't want to sound like that guy.
It doesn't even sound like they have kids.
It doesn't, but I don't want to be that guy. But I'm like, why am I coming home to clean the kitchen and the house? Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, this is a woman's place, but like,
no,
if you are home, and you're not doing anything,
legitimately, that's where kind of you guys establish roles.
Like,
and like, you know, because like, for example, like, say, I don't know, one of us, you or I, were to like lose our job and like we had nothing, like nothing was happening, and say it takes like 6 months to get another job or something, you know, I would expect that the dynamics would kind of shift in those 6 months. Not only would you be actively looking for another job, but yeah, the person who now is jobless can pick up more stuff around the house and can kind of, you know, whether it's cook dinner more, like whatever, because now there's only one person pulling the weight of income. Like, there's just, again, that's kind of like in a healthy couple, you kind of, you ebb and flow of how life kind of goes. And just like, yeah, I mean, there still are couples where one stays home, one works. Typically it's because of kids, but if that's the case, like,
if you are that person that's like that's controlling your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, like, dog, you gotta chill. And like I've seen relationships that are like this, like boyfriend girlfriend relationships. My question always is like how did it get like that to where like this person's like controlling your life essentially, like, or didn't you see this happening, like type of thing? Like I don't really understand.
Some people settle because that's the best they think they can get, and some people, I don't know. Some people it's like they just don't want to work for better.
Dog, how do you not?
Or they don't want to stir the pot, you know, like it's, you just kind of fall into this normal, your normal,
and that's
but
it's
issue. Not.
Like, how do you not have a hobby? You stay at home, Michael. How do you not have a hobby of doing anything? Knitting, sewing, watching YouTube videos.
It's
I don't
possible.
know, like anything that interests. I don't really get it.
Neither do I, but it's possible. I'll just leave it at that.
And like the whole planning of like trips every weekend, like we have to go do something together. I'm like, all right, like dog, it's
I'm
not
telling
happening.
you this.
I feel like I'm a slave to you, and it's not. This is not how it's gonna work out. And this thought comes to my mind again, not to be that negative person, and not to justify anything because it's not. You can't justify something like this. But I was saying this recently, how I feel like I keep seeing a lot more of these situations where like the man kills the wife or the wife kills the husband or whatever, and you, of course, you're never gonna know the reason as to why they do it because they never tell you or whatever the case is. But yeah, this kind of shines a light in my head where I'm like, I wonder if like their dynamic, like of these people that do that, is like this. We're like, man, this person like is mentally like affecting me and causing this to be an issue. And I'm like, wow. And it's like, I'm not, again, not to justify it, but like I get when someone's like they're mentally like enslaving you, and like you've done this for like years, and like you've tried talking to them, it just you see no way out because you're being mentally abused, and it's a sucky situation to be in.
Yeah, and it's hard because both of you you're screwed because like the person who's being controlled, it sucks because your life is just not yours and you're miserable and you don't have any say and all that. And then the person who's being the controller, they have a lot of problems. Like usually they need to get legitimate help, but they usually don't see it. So it's it's a very bad situation.
Yeah. I had to talk about this.
So,
a lot of heavy topics, dog. A lot of heavy topics.
I'm feeling that.
This episode. But we've come to the end. Anything else you want to talk about, kerfuffles?
And Sneezy.
Exactly. I'm glad that you know your names. Look, it only took however long this episode is. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
So if that's it, we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. I'm happy we were able to get a YouTube video out there, minus the edits that I have to do from this.
Have fun.
Hopefully one day that I want to do this and kerfuffles goes back to normal. I'm sorry for everyone's eardrums because I'm sure that's not the greatest thing you want to hear as we're talking in your ears. It's
You're so rude. Okay, I'm over here trying. Okay, they understand. It happens. I'm human.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I didn't think you were. Kind of look like a weird, like Marvin the Martian type.
Okay.
You're not even cute like Baby
Better watch
Yoda.
yourself.
You look like the opposite of Baby Yoda, ugly.
Wow, that was such a good comeback.
Guys, exactly like I said. Yeah, I see why wives kill their husbands. And maybe not be an episode next week because I'm not gonna be here next week. Yep, I don't feel safe anymore. Nah,
He's foiling my plan.
With that being said, guys, thank you for listening. I'm gonna close out with all the normal things that I hope you guys do, but it doesn't happen. So I just feel sad and depressed and feel like I have no friends. All right, you don't feel the same? Like I would love to get questions and comments and thoughts and interesting topics to talk about.
You guys don't love us.
Through our email that's in the description, PagingTheSimpsons@gmail.com, or a voice message that we can play on the podcast. Also in the description through anchor.fm/PagingTheSimpsons. All that good stuff. If you're listening on iTunes, please take a moment if you can. Give us a rating and review. It is all appreciated. Thank you for making it to this end of this episode. If you've made it to the end, we appreciate it 100%.
Thank you.
Oh, man. With that being said, guys, we will see you next Tuesday. I'm Shadell, co-host of Patreon The Simpsons. I am joined by my lovely wife,
Lauren.
Fuffles, a.k.a. Sneezy. And we'll see you
Rude.
next week.
Bye.
Peace out.